Every day, you light up that joint and stimulate your brain with chemicals that alter your experience of reality itself, but yet you continue to defend it every time it's put under the category of a drug. Most of the time you smoke, you have the mindset of, oh yeah, it makes me more productive. But then when you smoke, you never do anything with your time that actually progresses your life. You simply end up just doing the same task that you would do if you weren't high, just with a little bit more oomph, if that makes sense. The first time I smoked weed was around 6th grade, bro. And honestly, that shit was a blast. It was me and my homie. We were in his crib and we were blasting the club going up, hey, on a Tuesday. If he's watching this video, he remember those times. Those were fire. Those were so fire. But everything was going in slow motion. We were having these really, really, really deep thoughts, deep conversations. But if I'm going to be honest, those deep thoughts are what led me to the darkest moments of my life. When I did end up touching weed again, it was around 3 years after the 6th grade. I was smoking like 2 to 3 times a day, one joint in the morning, one joint at lunchtime, either like before class started in the morning, or like I skip a period and then smoke, or then lunchtime hits, we go smoke. Then when I go home, smoke on the way or smoke after I get home. And then what I did when I smoked, obviously, I just indulged in some horrible habits. I watched Netflix, I binge ate, I beat my meat, and I didn't do anything to really progress my life. It seemed pretty harmless at first, but later down my teenage years, the hormones started to kick in, a little bit of depression, the feeling of not fitting in, parent problems, and all these other things. And those deep thoughts, turned into days of constant overthinking and sometimes suicidal thoughts. I started to realize this, and then I stopped for a period of time. And honestly, I'm glad that kind of happened. I'm glad those thoughts came to me, because one, that proved that my mindset wasn't really the strongest that it could be. Because honestly, if I smoked weed now, I guarantee you that I'd probably be a lot more positive, be a lot more happy, because I actually have positive thoughts inside of my head. But I'm glad I went through that, bro. And weed actually woke me up and turned me, it made me start thinking of myself as a fat fuck. So I actually got in the gym. That's the only thing that weed did that was good for me. But other than that, it was fucked. It's simply a waste of time and money. After smoking, there was actually never a minute of productivity after the fact. I'm just chasing more comforts. I was, watching porn, Netflix, binge eating, all this other shit. And most of the people I know who do smoke weed on a constant basis are usually the ones who seem like they have the least direction in their life. They're either fat, they're depressed, they're broke, or again, they're chasing more pleasures and chasing more comforts. What I heard in a podcast the other day is that the more full you are in life, the less pleasure that you will chase. And that resonates with me so deeply, bro, because even if I go back to the times when I wasn't full in life in terms of chasing a goal or chasing a worthwhile endeavor, those times I didn't feel full, and those are the times when I was always chasing more pleasure, and that came in weed, porn, Netflix, all this other shit. And honestly, the main excuse I hear most people make, and the same excuse I made, was like, nah, weed's different for me, it helps me out. Shut the fuck up, stop lying to yourself, because that's actually not true, bro. Because all of them say, yeah, when I stopped smoking weed, I felt amazing, but yet they continue to go to it, and they don't admit that it's a fucking addiction. There's nothing wrong with wanting a little bit of an escape in life, or wanting a little pleasure or that brain stimulation, but you can get it without having to, spend money or smoke or fuck up your lungs. You don't have to do it you don't have to chase that brain stimulation with smoking, G. You can get that through meditation, through working out, through productivity, through accomplishing goals. Because honestly, when I'm doing what I need to do on a daily basis, I'm checking off boxes, I get a urge in my brain. I mean, my veins, bro. Genuinely, I'm pulsating. It's an addiction. Maybe it's not healthy, honestly. I'm addicted to that type of dopamine, healthy dopamine releases. Anytime I chase the cheap dopamine, or I binge eat a little bit, or I relapse, I feel like ending my life. That's why I just choose not to. I separate myself from the person who does that kind of stuff, and that's how I stay consistent with a lot of things. But that's a different topic. It doesn't help you. And honestly, this one may be a little bit controversial. Again, I'll get personal here. Again, when I did lose my dad, weed was my number one vice, so to speak. It was my escape. And in the beginning, the first couple months, yeah, that's a good thing. But if you think down the line, is that really a healthy life to live? Always having a escape from your reality. I was having a conversation with my homie. It would have been better if I just, faced the grief right off the bat, because it wouldn't have been so delayed. I would have probably had healthy, traumas, not really healthy traumas, healthy healing coming out of that traumatic event of my dad passing away, if I didn't, escape with marijuana and all that other stuff. But yeah, and I was having a conversation with my homie a few months back, and he said, yeah, weed helps me understand myself, and it helps me get through stuff. But I was like, my response was like, okay, don't you think that it's better to get through things without having to use a substance? Because like if you're constantly having to resort to a substance to get through something, then you're just constantly telling yourself that your mind is not strong enough while sober. And I feel like that's not going to bring you anywhere down the road. You're just going to be constantly saying, "Oh, I need this to do this. I need this to do this." Why do you need to enhance the experience? Why can't you build the mental toughness to actually, face your problems? And I don't know. That's for you to figure out, bro. Are you lying to yourself? Be real. Are you lying to yourself? Can you take 3 weeks off of weed? Can you face some emotional problems that you're facing? Or do you constantly have to go back to these vices and back to these escapes? I'll be honest right now, the gym is one of my main escapes, bro. Sometimes I'll be in my car and I'll be fucking crying about some crazy shit that's going through my brain, thinking about stuff. I mentioned in my other videos that sometimes I just cry. I enter the gym and then I stop crying instantly. I'm like, okay, I'm pumping these weights. I'm doing what I need to do. And then I leave the gym and then tears start coming down my eyes again. So I do know that's an escape, and I need to figure out ways to... It's a healthy escape, but I need to figure out ways to face my emotions a little bit better. So we're not all perfect, but I'm just saying I don't really go into financial ruin where I don't fuck up my health when I do go to my escape. So maybe switch yours up. And lastly, bro, I simply cut out weed because I seen no return of investment. And I mean, if you're seeing some crazy increase in a certain area in your life when you smoke weed, by all means do it. But if you're seeing nothing change or nothing progress in your life, then why are you still smoking it? That's my main question, G. Why are you still smoking it if there's no benefit? Is there a gradual increase? Even if you said it helps me out, I'm still productive. So what are those productive activities doing? Are you upping your business? Are you upping your health? Are you upping your lifestyle? Or is everything kind of staying the same, but you say, no, it helps me stay productive. What is that productivity, bro? For real, man. So, yeah, man, just drop it. Drop the weed. It's not gonna fucking help you, honestly. So that's all I gotta say. But love you, man. Start tomorrow strong, G. Peace. Woo!